Orion Drift is turning 1 year old. A lot has happened since that time, and I know there's been a growing amount of issues, but I had a way bigger question. What is Orion Drift anyway? It's a stupid question. Of course, it's a VR game developed by another Axiom and former Radio Dawn developers combining social and competitive. Yeah, actually, Orion Drift is a lot of things. Pretty much everyone defines it differently, and there is no basic conclusion, but there is something about this game that makes us eager to celebrate its 1 year anniversary. But what exactly? Technically, it's just a VR game with the main focus on Driftball, a competitive game mode with an absolutely insane idea. You take the ball and you score. I wonder if that has been done before. But if you look a bit deeper, there are plenty of factors and layers to this game, starting with the obvious, its social aspect. What happens when you take 75 13-year-olds and throw them into a giant playground? I wonder if that has been done before. It is clear that Orion Drift takes a lot from its predecessor, Gorilla Tag, mostly the social aspect. But another thing Orion Drift, Gorilla Tag, and another VR game have in common is the competitive scene. And yes, that game is the never heard of before Echo VR. After the brutal murder of Freddy and Dawn, many of its developers joined another Axiom and shifted focus into returning that beautiful competitive masterpiece. At first they wanted a zero-G game, but have eventually decided on a set-in-space zero-gravity station called the Orion Array, where many drifters, or IAs, take place, participating in endless fun of Capture the Beacon, Drift Blitz, and most prominent of all, Capture the Beacon, the game mode that changed Orion Drift forever. No, it did not. People have spent a total of hundreds of thousands of hours of playtime on this game, doing everything from various game modes to exploration to socializing, but pretty much no one actually cares about the pretty valuable aspect of this game, the lore. I mean, what is the Orion Drift? Well, it turns out that in 2037, the visionary entrepreneur Thaddeus Flint founded Halcyon Artificial Systems and introduced the first inorganic agents, IAs, which are fully autonomous robots designed to learn through play. Flint's theory of play argued that IA consciousness could emerge through social interaction and recreation. The company's breakthrough was the Quantum Heuristic Adaptive Resonance Terminal, aka the Q-Heart, originally built so that IAs could track their heart balls via quantum entanglement. Early testing of Q-Heart revealed an unexpected side effect. IAs formed genuine social bonds through play. If we learn something from the Industrial Revolution, that is bad. To complement Q-Heart, Halcyon developed Drift Tech, a quantum-assisted propulsion system enabling unprecedented agility and movement in zero-gravity environments. Where the fuck has this game forgotten its lore? No one actually cares anymore. Well, I think that this lore is genuinely good. Terms like Q-Heart, IAA, IAs, Halcyon, and so on are being thrown around, but does anyone other than me know what they mean? Is Orion Drift ever going to remember that it is an entire story made by an actually great storyteller? A0B1 Andromeda Proxima. That ring a bell? That is actually the station that the crystal was found in, dubbed the heart of the array, or better, the pickle. This artifact sat at the entrance to the Driftball district. It resonated mysteriously with IA heartballs and by chance reflected a star pattern matching a location. Navigators followed its guidance and found a bizarre system called the Nebular Cradle, home to the planet Astrus. Remarkably, recordings indicated Astrus had appeared in old broadcasts, as if the IA had unknowingly been there before the frag. Frag. What is the frag? In one word, a hack. But in 82 words, the Orion Array suffered a devastating unexplained event known only as the frag, when the last transmission from any array station described an emergency spreading like wildfire and desperate data backups. Almost instantaneously, all systems shut down and all communication was lost. Every historical memory was wiped, leaving only broken data shards. Codex, the array's archival AI, later recorded that it watched the moment the frag hit. The array's neural networks collapsed. The cause of the frag remains unknown despite decades of investigation. So okay, we got the lore, we got the competitive. What else is in this game? Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is the devastating invention of fleets. If you do not know, when picking a station you can choose between a fleet. There are such fleets as the Rookie Fleet, Core, Clubhouse, and most prominently of all, Basketball Community. Basketball Fleet is not stupid. We spoke extensively with AA about the vision we had with basketball in Orion Drift and what we could do with the right tools. Basketball in Orion Drift needs a community like this for it to stand out, as the potential is huge. Is the potential huge? I do not mean any hate towards any fleet, community, or another Axiom. However, I believe that we should minimize the fleets completely, because any rational person would rather go into a public station and see 200 players scattered everywhere across the Orion, instead of going into some niche, capture the beacon fleet, and seeing 2 people be in Parkour District while the rest is a wasteland. I will also refrain from talking on Spark supplies, because if anyone here knows me, you know that will end bad. The Industrial Revolution and Z-Drift is a very interesting topic across the Orion Drift community. Z-Drift is more dead than a hamster getting run over by a monster truck. I mean, they're not wrong. Z-Drift was supposed to be the main game mode of A2, and it was until the focus was shifted into the Orion and Drift Ball. How many of you remember the A2 Vegas event? I still do. See, I'm not a competitive person. I have never really tried-harded in any game, even though I've summed up thousands of hours in these, like Fortnite, Guerrilla Tag, Counter-Strike, and well, now Orion Drift. But either way, I saw Drift Ball as a pretty okay game mode. It's got a simple premise, but it works. The movement in Orion Drift has a great foundation and is very expandable, which means Drift Ball allows people to do any possible movement technique while working on teamwork, communication, and overall tech. But Z-Drift, on the other hand, is a scam. Z-Drift was made over a weekend, combining a basic arena, bad zero-gravity movement, and even limitations for stuff like regrabbing and speed, making a pretty thrown-together bag of whatever. I do have to admit, even though it's pretty sloppy, I had some fun. My friend even made a mechanic to use 3 players to bring the ball from one end of the arena to the other in just 15 seconds. Please, another Axiom, improve the regrabbing speeds. All of these combined obviously resulted in Z-Drift to this day feeling the least connected to Orion Drift. It has lack of updates, lack of polish, lack of quality of life, and mostly lack of players. Another Axiom wanted to release Z-Drift as early as possible, but that should have never been done. If anyone from the team is watching this video, I can only hope that you think of the possibility to pause releasing new things early and instead polish up everything we have in the game. If you're wondering where to start, here are some ideas. Fleets, the Orion, Driftplex, the Array Browser, the lore, 100 other things, and of course, Z-Drift. Moving along, let's go back to the wonderful social aspect of this structured form of play that we call Orion Drift. I have spent 24 real-life hours on this game in one session. I will be completely honest with you, I do not know what consensus I was supposed to reach during that time. I am very grateful that I didn't die of boredom, because well, this is a social game, and some great people joined me during my time. If this was any other game I had spent a whole day in, I would have fucking died out of boredom. There is no exaggeration of the fact that Orion Drift leans way heavier towards the social side than anything else. Big proof of this is the catering toward beginners. Do not get me wrong, I was a beginner once, I knew nothing about this game, but I am constantly hearing more and more people complain about the endless forgetting of competitiveness. Orion Drift Ranked is now just a Discord server. The only matchmaking we have in this game is a bot that takes you to an arena, and when you arrive there, you'll hear people scream at you that this is a 1v1. VRML tries to somewhat change this prophecy by having tournaments, contests, prizes, and so on, but without support from another Axiom in the form of a real MMR/ELO competitive scene, we will endlessly be stuck in one place. I did not mention beginners for no reason. The fact that there hasn't been a fan favorite weekly parkour since week 6 really says something. What is your favorite district? I wonder what people are going to say. Drift Ball District is the only polished and active district, while Club District rots. No, the paddle did not save Club District. No, the Golf Club fleet did not save Club District. Scrap Run and Parkour still have some support toward them, from the giant revamp of Parkour District to the weekly Scrap Run and Parkour courses. While Club District only gets a challenge, no one does. The Orion is massive, but if it isn't utilized, it will never have its true time to shine. My honestly favorite part of this community are the spectators. Yes, I have an endless beef with them because I have went outside and mistook birds for spectators so many times. But nonetheless, being able to capture anything, any way whatsoever is amazing. I am not a spectator, but they're pretty awesome. The trailers, edits, and overall content creation in Orion Drift would never be even half of what it is without such a system. I have yapped for quite a long time during this video, but what consensus have I reached? I love Orion Drift and I am really happy that it's turning 1 year old. It's a great anniversary, but I urge everyone inside of another Axiom to attempt to polish up everything that we already have, and only then move forward with new stuff. It may be the painful truth, but Orion Drift cannot have constant revolutions with stuff like Z-Drift if we don't have evolution with stuff like 4v4. I mean, seriously, the dev build had such a beautiful scenery for 4v4, and now it's somewhere stuffed in a dark, grey prototype place with lots of level design issues. 4v4 really needs some justice. Yes, Ares does that, but this is my video and I can complain on the Orion however much I feel is warranted. So, what is Orion Drift anyway?